Hello Substreamers and welcome back to Substream News. Now to start off, I have a challenge for you. I'm going to tell you about a person, about their life, about their achievements and accomplishments, and I want you to tell me their name. That's it, just a name. All you need to do is a name. He began as a punk artist in Sweden as the bassist for a band called It's Alive, and that was in the mid-80s. And then he transitioned into production, songwriting, away from live performance. He co-founded Cheiron Studios in Stockholm around 1993, alongside his mentor, Anders Bagger and Björn Ulvaeus, who you may know as a member of ABBA. Still haven't got it? Okay, I'll keep going. So around the mid-90s, he built a reputation for writing absolute bangers, right? He had 5 number 1 hits in the 90s. His reputation just kept on growing in the noughties. He became known for crafting like really radio-friendly hooks and adapting to different trends that were coming throughout music in the early noughties. Different genres like pop rock, EDM, synth pop, stuff like that, right? He was just a master. Do you know who I'm talking about yet? No? Still no? Look, he's one of the best ghostwriters of all time. And if you still haven't got his name, I'm going to tell you some more of his accolades just to show you how impressive this guy is. He's got 5 Grammys. He wrote Britney Spears' Baby One More Time. He wrote Toxic and Oops, I Did It Again, all Britney classics. He wrote I Want It That Way and Larger Than Life for the Backstreet Boys. He wrote It's Gonna Be Me and Bye 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 for NSYNC. He has written hits for Taylor Swift, for Katy Perry, Adele, Rihanna, Mariah Carey, Demi Lovato, and more. And he even wrote, remember this one, this is the best trivia from this, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith. I almost said Bon Jovi. Aerosmith, right? He even co-wrote Yellow by Coldplay. What? This guy's a musical genius. Come on. He holds the Guinness World Record for the most top 10 hits on the Billboard 100 with over 60 songs. And most of you watching do not know his name. His name is, drum roll please, Max Martin. I had never heard of him either. And I'm a ghostwriter. A lot of you have asked me in the past, what do I actually do? I'm a tech ghostwriter. I'd never heard of Max Martin, and I think that's awful. As a ghostwriter, I should recognize who is arguably the greatest ghostwriter of this generation. Let's put some respect on his name as we answer, who writes all the music? Now, I need to ask someone for help because I'm kind of musical, but I'm not a proper musician. So I need to find a real musician to tell us all about writing songs. Is it really that hard? Can't we just use ChatGPT? Maybe not. Let's go find out. Now, as I was putting this video together, I started looking into the history of musical ghostwriting, something I never thought I'd find myself doing. But I found something quite incredible, something really unexpected. There was once a time where lyrics were more important than the song. That seems quite an obvious thing to say, but it's not. We've got to a point now with music, and especially the younger generation, where the lyrics are mostly meaningless. They're just there to fit the rhythm. The lyrical ability these days is arguably, in my opinion, way lower than it used to be. Why did that happen? I don't know. We have to agree. I mean, you don't have to agree, but I would say yes. The music these days is more famous than the lyrics, which is why a song can be popular all around the world, even when people don't understand what the lyrics are saying. Perhaps, therefore, globalization is the answer, and that's the reason why any song can be popular anywhere and the lyrics become less important than the music, the melody, the rhythm, the sound. So there was an era between the 1880s and the 1950s which was called the Tin Pan Alley era. Now, that's a really strange name. Why is that? Well, there were these things called song factories, and they were where famous writers of the day worked, right? And they wrote music, or they wrote lyrics all day long. That was their job. Some names I found were Irving Berlin and Cole Porter. I don't know these guys, but these were songwriters who became really famous in their time, much more famous than the artists who went on to sing their song. Now, back then, there wasn't A&R. The artists just didn't get that famous. But the guy who wrote the original song, he would get the credit, or the woman, they would get the credit. That really amazes me, the fact that the artist singing the song wasn't really important and that the writer was. Now, at some point this changed, and it was around the 1950s, because I discovered during the rabbit hole deep dive of creating this video, Frank Sinatra did not write his own music. Elvis Presley did not write his own music. And I kept looking, and I kept finding more names, and this may change your relationship with music to know Michael Jackson did not write his own music, Diana Ross did not write her own music, Marvin Gaye did not write his own music. The list goes on and on and on. Now, that fact was largely kept secret at the time when they were at the peak of their career, because they wanted people to believe that they were multi-talented singer-songwriter professionals, but it just wasn't true. It just wasn't true. It's a lie. It's really, I don't know, it's changed my relationship with music, I suppose. How do you feel about that? I mean, are you shocked by these names? Tell me in the comments. I'd really like to know, because for me it was a bit like, oh, right. You know, they sing with such belief, so they're wonderful actors. They sing with such belief as if these words really came from them, but they didn't. So we go from this Tin Pan Alley era where everything's about the lyrics to a time where everything's about the artist. You know, Sinatra was huge, Beatlemania, Prince, Michael Jackson, right? You have this time where the artist becomes everything, and it becomes less about the music. It becomes about the fandom, the person, the lore, the origin, the character, all of these things around them, about the band, about the person. And it became less about the music. But I can tell you now, we've come full circle, and we've returned to a time, and this is a wonderful twist, we've returned to a time where the songwriter has once again become important and cherished. And I'm so happy as a ghostwriter, although not a musical ghostwriter, as a ghostwriter, to see the writers getting credit that they deserve, not just for royalties and income, but to show how important someone who dedicates themselves to mastery of a craft is. There are wonderful singer-songwriters out there, but that shouldn't stop the ghostwriters, the musical ghostwriters, from doing their thing and creating some of the best hits in the world. So that got me thinking, and it led me down another rabbit hole. Who wrote what, right? If there's wonderful singer-songwriters now, who wrote what? Max Martin, as I told you in the intro, he wrote some absolute bangers. He's so famous. But there are more recent ones that you will know. Ed Sheeran. He wrote Love Yourself by Justin Bieber. You should go and love yourself. Yeah, great. I mean, catchy song. Irreplaceable by Beyonce. Absolute classic. Ladies, you know it. It was written by Neo. Amazing. Now, that got me thinking, which artists have not had much personal success? I mean, to a fair degree, you may know their name, but they haven't blown up as big as the songs they've written, right? There's some disconnect. Maybe their voice just doesn't quite click, or maybe their style just isn't there, or maybe they don't have the right look or style or something, or some kind of character that people really click with, but they just write wonderful music. Well, I did find a great example. Mnek, M-N-E-K. Now, I remember him having a couple of hits a few years ago, but nothing special. Well, he isn't tiny, but he's not huge, let's put it like that. Well, he wrote loads of songs, loads of absolute hits, Little Mix, Dua Lipa, Selena Gomez, Beyonce, and loads more. You want to go look at the songs that Mnek's written. There's so many, and they're amazing. I want to introduce you to two new words that I came across during the research for this video, and it's democratizing creativity. Now, I really like this term. It's the fact creativity can be for anyone, so even if you don't feel creative, you can still be creative, right? And that's the kind of joy behind collaboration, right? You may be very good at writing songs, but not very good at singing. Or you may be very good at singing, but not so good at writing songs. So why not team up with somebody who can do the other part of it? That is democratizing creativity, right? It's something to be shared and enjoyed by all. So it makes me ask the question, Why is there a stigma against ghostwriters in music, right? You look at artists like Drake, right, who gets a lot of credit, a lot of discredit for using ghostwriters to help write his lyrics. And why is that? Is that something that's specific to hip hop and rap? I don't know. But I believe, and it's my personal opinion, that ghostwriters should be seen alongside playwrights and screenwriters, even co-founders, right? Why are they not getting that credit? They provide a crucial element. Without the words, there's no song. There's a big plane flying overhead. There is and always has been a communal element to music. How can you disagree? Music has always been enjoyed by groups of people doing it together. And I just think that ghostwriting is part of that continuum of shared creativity. And if we try and, cut it out, we lose something critical. I think it's something to be celebrated. And a lot of your favourite songs, the songs that you hum in your head, the tunes you listen to that are top of your playlist, there's a pretty good chance they were not written by the singer. You have to think that. You may not know. You may be able to find out. You might not. But that's the reality, that there are very few singer-songwriters these days. Now look, I was going to get into another section about the ethics and challenges of writing music for other people, but do you really care? Everyone has an opinion on it. There's different takes. Now, you can come to my conclusion and agree with me that music is something to be shared, enjoyed, and collaborated by all. Or you can disagree and say that, no, if you're going to sing a song, you should write it yourself. And then you can never, ever go do karaoke again. You can never hum another tune. You can never enjoy music, I suppose, ever again. So let's just enjoy music for what it is and accept that ghostwriters are a wonderful part of the process, that they are a creative force to be reckoned with. How people like Max Martin, like Paul McCartney, like John Lennon, these are hit makers. They are themselves song factories. And we have to celebrate that there are beautiful minds on this planet that come up with some of the best songs ever. And if that's something that you don't like and disagree with, please go down to the comments and justify it. I'd love to hear that, because I've spent, 20 minutes now justifying my take. It's your turn in the comments if you disagree. If you do agree and you like this video, you enjoyed it, why not smash the subscribe button and come back for the next video next week. See you then.